Picture this. You're walking down a dark, secluded forest trail. All you hear are the sounds of the night, lit only by the moon. Suddenly, a loud rustling erupts from the bushes. Is it just the wind? Or is it something far, far worse? Your primal instinct kicks in, forcing you to freeze. Your heart is pounding, and your mind immediately jumps to the most terrifying conclusions. Today, we're diving into 30 animals you absolutely do not want to cross paths with after dark. Some are infamous predators whose reputation speaks for itself, but others look deceptively harmless, concealing a deadly peril that only truly awakens under the cover of night. Stay with us until the end to discover which creatures turn a quiet evening into a genuine horror movie. And hey, before we start, drop a comment below and tell us which animal scares you the most. Let's see if you guessed any from our list. Nighttime is an entirely different world. It's their domain. For us humans, built for daylight, darkness is a profound vulnerability. We become practically blind, clumsy and utterly defenseless. But for countless creatures on this planet, this is prime time. The hour of the hunt, the time to truly thrive. Evolution has spent millions of years sharpening their skills to perfection. They possess heightened hearing, capable of catching the faintest heartbeat of their prey. Their flawless night vision turns pitch blackness into broad daylight. Their footsteps are utterly silent. You won't hear them until it's far too late. Their instincts sharpen, their territory expands, and the human, the supposed apex predator, suddenly becomes easy prey, or just a minor inconvenience that needs to be dealt with. That's why meeting a wild animal after dark is a completely different story than seeing one at the zoo during the day. This is an intrusion into their territory during their hours, and out here they make the rules. Kicking off our list is a creature that seems to have walked straight out of the pages of the darkest fairy tale you can imagine. Picture a deep, dark forest in Madagascar at night. Suddenly, you hear a strange, rhythmic tapping sound coming from a tree. It's not a woodpecker's knock. It's drier, sharper, almost skeletal. You shine your flashlight toward the source of the sound and see two enormous, glowing orange eyes staring back through the darkness. They belong to a creature covered in scraggly dark fur, sporting huge bat-like ears and incredibly strange hands. This is the eye, or the hand-foot creature. If its general appearance hasn't already chilled you to the bone, take a closer look at its middle finger. It is impossibly long, impossibly thin, almost skeletal, and looks completely alien compared to the rest of its body. This is the exact tool it uses to tap on wood, listening for the hollow sounds of grubs beneath the surface. Then, using its rodent-like, ever-growing incisor teeth to chew through the bark, it extracts its prey. For centuries, local legends have imbued the eye with demonic power. It has long been believed to be an omen of true misfortune, and it was said that if it pointed its bony finger at a person, that individual was surely destined for a swift death. Of course, these are just superstitions, but put yourself in the shoes of someone who sees this creature emerge from the absolute darkness. While it poses no physical threat to humans, its otherworldly appearance, those huge, unblinking eyes, tracking your every move, and that horrifying finger that seems to have a life of its own, is enough to trigger primal terror. An encounter with the eye in the dark isn't about physical danger, it's a psychological assault on your subconscious mind. This creature looks so utterly wrong, so alien to everything we understand about the natural world, that your brain simply refuses to process it. It is the living embodiment of a childhood nightmare, and this image will stay with you long after you turn off your flashlight and try to run away. Let's transport ourselves now to the swampy marshes of Africa. It's night. The water's surface is perfectly still, like a sheet of black glass. Suddenly, the silence is shattered by a sound, a rapid-fire clattering, almost like a machine gun burst. You freeze, straining to understand what you just heard. Then out of the darkness, a tall, dark silhouette approaches silently. It possesses an enormous bill, shaped uncannily like a wooden clog or an oversized shoe. Meet the shoebill stork. This bird looks like the dinosaurs never truly died out. Standing nearly 5 feet tall and boasting a massive 8-foot wingspan, its presence is imposing. But the most chilling feature is its gaze. 2 large yellow eyes fixate on you with a cold, unblinking, and utterly indifferent intensity. It's a stare that seems to pierce right through you. The shoebill can stand absolutely motionless for hours, merging perfectly with the shadows of the night as it waits for its prey. It hunts fish, frogs, and even juvenile crocodiles. Its attack is lightning fast and utterly lethal. It plunges down onto its victim, and that massive bill, tipped with a sharp, lethal hook, leaves nothing to chance. When all you see at night is its silhouette and feel that icy gaze upon you, it truly sends shivers down your spine. While it doesn't view humans as prey, the shoebill is fiercely territorial. If you inadvertently stumble into its hunting grounds, it may perceive you as a serious threat. That's when you'll hear that loud, unmistakable clattering sound. It's a warning, and you would be wise to heed it. In the darkness, its strike will be sudden, and a blow from that monstrous beak is capable of inflicting severe trauma. The shoebill stork is a living statue of death, the silent guardian of the nocturnal swamps, an encounter that will make you believe you have stepped back into a prehistoric world. We head north, into the cold, dense forests and the sprawling tundra. Here, lurking in the darkness, prowls a creature that is the very embodiment of pure rage. It's relatively small, roughly the size of a stocky dog, yet it possesses a ferocity that knows no bounds. This is the wolverine. Catching sight of one at night is often considered a very bad omen. Its dark, shaggy coat renders it virtually invisible among the trees and rocks. All you might catch is a cold glint in its eyes and hear a low, guttural snarl. The wolverine possesses incredible strength for its size. Its powerful jaws can crush bone, and its long, non-retractable claws are sharp as razor blades. It fears absolutely nothing. There are documented cases of wolverines driving off wolves, cougars, and even bears from their kills. It is utterly fearless and intensely aggressive, particularly when defending its territory or a meal. An encounter with one in the dark is perilous, precisely because you won't be prepared for the speed of its attack. It can strike without warning, and its assault will be relentless and savage. The wolverine targets the face and neck, tearing vicious wounds with its claws and teeth. It will not back down, even if its opponent is much larger or stronger. Its endurance and tenacity are legendary. It will fight to the bitter end. Hunters and travellers call it the demon of the north, and for good reason. To hear its piercing, malevolent scream in the night is to realise you are not alone, and whatever is nearby certainly does not wish you well. The wolverine is concentrated, untamed fury, a small but lethally dangerous adversary that you are wise to avoid entirely, especially once the sun has set. We are journeying to the island of Tasmania, where the nights are dominated by sounds that will truly chill you to the bone. These are piercing, ear-splitting shrieks and guttural snarls that echo throughout the entire wilderness. These haunting calls belong to the Tasmanian devil, and if you are lucky enough to encounter one in the dark, you will immediately understand how it earned its name. It's a stocky, muscular creature with dark fur, but when caught in the beam of your flashlight, you'll see a menacing grin, a gaping maw full of razor-sharp teeth. The Tasmanian devil possesses one of the most powerful bites in the animal kingdom, relative to its size and weight. Its jaws are engineered specifically for crushing bone. While they typically feed on carrion, they are not afraid to hunt. They become especially active and aggressive at night. You often find them gathered in chaotic groups tearing apart a carcass. And this is truly not a sight for the faint of heart. They fight, they shriek, they snarl, ripping through flesh and shattering bone. If you stumble upon one of these feasts in the darkness, they will instantly see you as competition for their meal. While they rarely attack humans unprovoked, it takes very little to set them off. Their reaction will be instantaneous and furious. They can latch onto a leg and refuse to let go, inflicting serious, deep wounds. But the ultimate terror is the sound itself. Imagine walking through the dense, dark woods, surrounded by this demonic choir. It sounds as if the very spirits of the forest are crying out in anguish. The psychological pressure of this soundscape is incredibly difficult to endure. The Tasmanian devil is more than just an animal. It is a living nightmare that will first drive you mad with its screams, and then show you exactly what its terrifying jaws are capable of. Picture this: Australia and New Guinea. You're deep in the rainforest after dark. You suddenly hear a low, guttural rumble, like distant thunder echoing through the dense undergrowth. You stop dead, and suddenly, crashing out of the thicket, is a creature resembling a massive ostrich but with a vivid blue neck and a bony helmet on its head. This is the cassowary. It holds the Guinness World Record for the most dangerous bird in the world. By day, it's exotic, but at night, its towering silhouette inspires true, primal fear. It can stand nearly 7 feet tall, easily looking down at you. But the most terrifying thing about this bird is its legs. Powerful and heavily muscled, they end in 3 toes, and on the innermost toe of each foot is a dagger-like claw, measuring up to 5 inches long, 12 centimeters of pure, sharpened keratin. The cassowary is intensely territorial and highly unpredictable. If it feels threatened, it will attack without hesitation. It can charge at speeds up to 31 miles per hour, meaning escape through the forest is virtually impossible. It attacks by delivering powerful kicks, and every kick is an attempt to disembowel you with that lethal dagger-like claw. A single well-placed strike can be fatal. In the darkness, you likely won't even register what happened. All you'll hear is that rumble, see a dark silhouette charging, and then nothing. Cassowaries are responsible for numerous human attacks, including fatalities. They aren't predators in the classic sense. They don't hunt people, but their defensive reaction is so aggressive and brutally effective that it makes them one of the deadliest creatures you can encounter in the twilight of the jungle. This isn't just a bird, it's a living weapon. Let's drop down to the forest floor, deep into the undergrowth of the South American rainforests. At night, this place is buzzing with life, and right now, something large and dark is slowly crawling across the leaf litter. It's not a rodent, and it's certainly not a snake. You shine your flashlight, and you see a spider. But this is no ordinary spider. This is the Goliath bird-eater, the largest spider in the world. Its leg span can reach 30 centimeters, about the size of a dinner plate. Its body is covered in thick brown hairs, and its massive fangs, the chelicerae, are up to 2 centimeters long. Just the sight of this monster emerging from the darkness is enough to give most people a heart attack. It doesn't spin webs to catch prey. It's an active hunter. At night, it leaves its burrow and hunts frogs, lizards, mice, and yes, even small birds, which is how it earned its name. While its bite is not fatal to humans, it's roughly comparable to a severe wasp sting. That isn't its primary defense. When the Goliath senses danger, it rears up into a defensive posture and makes a loud hissing sound by rubbing its legs together. If that warning doesn't work, it deploys its secret weapon. It brushes a cloud of tiny, irritating hairs off its abdomen. These hairs, if they land on your skin, eyes, or airway, cause intense irritation, pain, and an allergic reaction that can last for several days. Imagine this. You accidentally step too close to its burrow in the dark. First, you hear the hiss, and then you feel thousands of invisible needles embedding themselves in your skin and eyes. You can't see anything, but you are struck by agonizing pain. And you know, somewhere close by in the pitch black, sits this giant spider. An encounter with the Goliath bird-eater is a true test of nerve. It is a confrontation with one of humanity's deepest primal fears, arachnophobia, magnified to monstrous proportions. Africa, the savannah, night. Listen closely. You hear something slithering through the dry grass at an incredible speed. It's not just a simple rustle. This is focused, rapid motion, and it's heading straight for you. It's the black mamba, one of the fastest and deadliest snakes on the planet. Contrary to its name, it's not actually black. It's typically olive or greyish-brown. It earns its chilling name from the inky, bluish-black lining of its mouth, which it displays as a terrifying warning before it strikes. If you see that abyss of blackness flash in your flashlight beam, you're in serious trouble. The black mamba can travel at speeds up to 20 kilometers per hour. That is faster than most people can run. It's not so much aggressive as it is incredibly nervous and easily startled. A close encounter with a human in the dark, where it sees no clear path of escape, will almost certainly provoke an attack. And it won't bite just once. The mamba is capable of delivering up to 12 strikes in a single attack, injecting a dose of incredibly potent neurotoxic venom with every single bite. Without immediate anti-venom administration, the mortality rate is virtually 100%. The venom works extremely fast. The first symptoms, dizziness, numbness, and laboured breathing, can appear within mere minutes. This is rapidly followed by respiratory paralysis and death. In the darkness, you stand almost no chance of spotting it until it's too late. You might simply step right on it. Its reaction will be instantaneous and lightning quick. You'll feel several sharp, deep pricks on your leg, and only then perhaps will you catch a glimpse of the dark silhouette rapidly fleeing the scene. The black mamba is the embodiment of speed and death. Encountering one at night is a game of Russian roulette where nearly every chamber is loaded. Let's approach the water. We are standing on the bank of a river or a saline estuary somewhere in Australia or Southeast Asia. It's night. You spot two small red lights on the surface, slowly drifting towards you. They aren't flashlights. These are the eyes of the saltwater crocodile, the largest apex predator on the planet. Males can reach up to 7 meters in length and weigh over a ton. It is the perfect killing machine, honed by millions of years of evolution. And at night, its power is absolute. It can glide through the water completely silently, exposing only its eyes and nostrils above the surface. It sees you, but you don't see it. It can wait for hours, meticulously studying your habits. It is infinitely patient, but when it decides to attack, everything happens in an instant. It explodes from the water with incredible speed and force, clamps down with the most powerful bite force in the animal kingdom, and drags you beneath the surface. Then begins the infamous death roll. The crocodile rapidly spins on its axis to disorient and drown the victim, and to tear off chunks of flesh. There is virtually no chance of escaping that grip. Encountering a saltwater crocodile in the darkness at the water's edge is likely the last thing you will ever do. It is the unchallenged master of this territory, the supreme predator. It doesn't fear humans. It merely sees us as food, and the night gives it an overwhelming advantage. It is the living embodiment of ancient terror, lurking just below the murky surface. Let's stay in Asia. Moving to the Indonesian archipelago, this is the home of the world's largest lizard, the Komodo dragon. By day, they look like lazy, prehistoric reptiles, basking in the sun. But at night, they transform into deadly, calculated predators. Imagine you've set up camp on Komodo Island. You step outside your tent in the dark, and in the moonlight you see a massive silhouette, up to 10 feet long, slowly, deliberately moving toward you. Its yellow, forked tongue flicks out constantly, tasting the air. This is how it tracks you. The dragon has an incredible sense of smell, able to detect the scent of blood from several miles away. A Komodo dragon's bite is truly terrifying. For a long time, the primary danger was believed to be septic bacteria lurking in its saliva. But recently, scientists discovered that the dragon also possesses true venom glands. Its venom contains potent toxins that cause a drastic drop in blood pressure, induce shock, paralyze muscles, and prevent blood from clotting. Once bitten, the victim weakens and bleeds out, and the dragon simply follows, patiently waiting for them to die. They are also opportunistic scavengers, often digging up graves. This ghoulish habit only adds to their terrifying reputation. At night, with their senses heightened, they can become particularly aggressive. They are strong enough to knock an adult human off their feet, and their sharp, serrated teeth leave horrific, gaping wounds. Encountering a Komodo dragon in the darkness is like meeting a living dragon that sees you as its next meal, and it possesses everything necessary to claim it: sheer power, potent venom, and limitless patience. Let's head back to Africa and the Middle East. This is the home of a small but truly legendary animal, a creature whose utter fearlessness has become the stuff of legend. This is the honey badger. While it might resemble a common badger, do not let its appearance fool you. This is arguably one of the most ferocious and relentless animals on the entire planet. To encounter one at night is to stare down pure, unadulterated aggression. The honey badger literally fears nothing. It routinely attacks venomous snakes, scorpions, and even major predators like lions and leopards, especially if they wander too close. Its skin is incredibly thick and loose, a rubbery armor that is nearly impossible to bite through or puncture. Beneath that tough hide are powerful muscles. If you grab it, it can actually twist and turn inside its own skin to bite the aggressor. Its long claws and powerful jaws are formidable weapons that few creatures can withstand. The honey badger is particularly active after dark. It forages relentlessly for food, and woe betide anyone who crosses its path. It won't flee, it attacks, targeting the most vulnerable areas of its opponent. Its tenacity is legendary. It will chase and attack an enemy until that opponent either retreats or is incapacitated. There are even famous videos showing a honey badger confronting an entire pride of lions. It doesn't win, but it certainly doesn't yield. In the darkness, you'll likely hear its angry growl first. Then you'll see a low-slung, black and white blur of fury charging right at you. The single best thing you can do is get out of its way immediately. Attempting to fight back will almost certainly end in disaster. The honey badger is living proof that size truly doesn't matter when you possess boundless courage and utter ferocity. North America, you're deep inside a national park camping. It's night. You're sitting by the campfire when suddenly, right behind you, you hear the loud snapping of branches. You spin around and see a massive dark silhouette standing upright on its hind legs. It towers over 7 feet tall. In the flickering light of the fire, you catch the glint of its eyes and monstrous claws. It's a grizzly bear. This is one of the largest and most dangerous terrestrial predators on Earth. Encountering one at night is especially terrifying because just like you, the bear might be disoriented. A sudden, unexpected meeting can easily be perceived by the bear as a threat. Grizzlies are unbelievably strong. A single swipe of its paw can shatter the spine of a moose or instantly kill a human. Their claws, which can reach up to 4 inches long, aren't designed for climbing trees, like those of black bears. They are built for digging and for tearing through flesh. Despite their massive size, grizzlies can reach speeds of up to 35 miles per hour. You cannot outrun them. And climbing a tree isn't always a salvation either. A large grizzly can easily knock it down. The biggest danger posed by the grizzly is its sheer unpredictability. It might just walk right past you, or it might charge without any visible provocation. Sows with cubs are especially lethal. If you find yourself positioned between a mother and her young, an attack is virtually instant and unavoidable. In the darkness, where visibility is limited, this scenario is highly probable. You simply won't spot the cubs. All you'll hear is a low, guttural roar that will paralyze you with pure terror. And then, the full, devastating force of this giant will be unleashed upon you. A nighttime encounter with a grizzly is a deadly lottery where your life is the only prize. It's a summer night in Asia. You're sitting out on the porch when you suddenly hear a loud, deep hum, like a miniature engine approaching. In the lamplight, you spot an enormous insect roughly the size of your thumb. This is the Asian giant hornet, infamously nicknamed the murder hornet. It is the largest hornet in the world, and encountering one, especially at night when they are drawn to light, can be deadly. Measuring up to 2 inches, 5 centimeters, long, with a wingspan of almost 3 inches, 7.5 centimeters, its 6mm stinger is powerful enough to pierce a standard beekeeper's protective suit. A sting from this hornet has been described as feeling like being struck by a red-hot nail. The venom contains a powerful neurotoxin that not only causes excruciating pain, but actively breaks down tissue. But the most terrifying aspect is their collective aggression. If a single hornet perceives a threat, it releases pheromones that instantly summon the entire nest. You could then be attacked by dozens, sometimes hundreds of these giants. Multiple stings can rapidly lead to anaphylactic shock, kidney failure and death. Even if you don't have an existing allergy, they are notorious for their mass assaults on honeybee hives. Just a few dozen hornets can wipe out a colony of thousands of bees in a matter of hours, ruthlessly decapitating them with their massive jaws. Attracted by light, they may fly into a home or a tent at night. If you try to swat one away and accidentally provoke it, you risk inviting the fury of the entire nest, which might be lurking nearby. These are tiny, flying monsters whose sheer venomous power and aggression make them one of the deadliest insects on the planet. Let's now dive into the warm waters of the Indo-Pacific. Imagine you decide to take a late-night swim. The water looks calm and safe, but beneath the surface lurks an invisible assassin. This is the sea wasp, commonly known as the box jellyfish. It's widely regarded as one of the deadliest creatures on Earth. Its bell is almost completely transparent, making it virtually invisible in the water, especially after dark. Trailing behind that bell are up to 60 slender tentacles, which can stretch over 10 feet long. Every tentacle is lined with millions of stinging cells, called nematocysts. The slightest contact triggers them to fire microscopic, venom-filled harpoons. The sea wasp's venom is a devastating cocktail of toxins that simultaneously attacks the heart, the nervous system, and the skin cells. The pain from a sting is instantaneous and agonizing. Victims often describe it as being struck by a red-hot branding iron. Dark red welts or scars are left on the skin. But the pain isn't the worst part. The venom works extremely fast. The victim rapidly develops heart failure and respiratory paralysis and can die within minutes, often before they even make it back to shore. Many people simply drown due to the intense shock and pain. At night, when visibility is zero, the risk of brushing up against a box jellyfish multiplies exponentially. You could just be swimming along and suddenly feel like you've been wrapped in electrified barbed wire. Chances of survival after a serious entanglement are frighteningly slim. This creature isn't aggressive. It isn't hunting you. To the jellyfish, you are merely an obstacle. But the result of this accidental encounter will most likely be fatal. It is a silent, invisible, and incredibly efficient killer. The Amazon River. Night. You're paddling in a boat when you suddenly hear a strange sound, like someone tossed a handful of gravel into the water. Then, the water around your boat starts to literally boil. These are piranhas. While their reputation as bloodthirsty killers is somewhat exaggerated, the danger they pose is absolutely real, especially after dark. Piranhas are schooling fish. They possess powerful jaws lined with triangular, razor-sharp teeth, capable of easily shearing off chunks of flesh. During the day, they are quite timid and attacks on humans are rare. But under certain conditions, everything changes. For instance, during the dry season, when water levels drop, piranhas become trapped in small pools with limited food. That's when hunger makes them highly aggressive. At night, their behavior shifts as well. They grow bolder. If you fall into the water after dark, especially if you have an open or bleeding wound, it can trigger a feeding frenzy. One piranha bites, the smell of blood is released, and the entire school joins the attack. They will rip away pieces of flesh, and while they likely won't devour you whole, as depicted in movies, they can inflict horrific, fatal injuries. Encountering a hungry school of piranhas in the dark waters of the Amazon is a real-life horror movie scenario. You will feel hundreds of bites across your body, the water around you turning red, and there is nothing you can do to stop it. It is a quick and brutal way to die. Central and South America, it's night. You're asleep in a simple dwelling. Maybe the window is open. You don't hear a small creature silently glide into the room. It doesn't land on you immediately. It touches down gently on the bed nearby, and then it crawls closer. This is the common vampire bat, Desmodus rotundus. And yes, they are very real. These small mammals feed exclusively on blood. Unlike the vampires of legend, they don't actually suck blood. Their method is far more sophisticated. They possess incredibly acute vision, paired with specialized heat sensors, thermoreceptors, in their nose. This allows them to pinpoint areas on the victim's body where blood flows closest to the surface. Then, using their razor-sharp, scalpel-like incisors, They make a tiny, precise incision in the skin. The bite is so delicate that the sleeping host, animal or human, never feels a thing. This is where their saliva takes over. It contains a powerful cocktail of chemicals, including an anticoagulant, which keeps the blood flowing freely, and a localized anesthetic to ensure the bite remains completely painless. The bat then simply laps up the blood as it wells up from the small cut. The bite itself isn't dangerous. They only consume about a teaspoon of blood. The real danger, however, is that these bats are vectors for rabies. The infection rate within their populations is alarmingly high. If you are bitten by a vampire bat and do not immediately receive post-exposure prophylaxis, you face an almost certain agonizing death. The true horror of an encounter lies in its complete stealth. You are vulnerable and asleep while this tiny creature is crawling on you, making an incision and drinking your blood. You might wake up the next morning and notice nothing more than a tiny spot of blood on the sheets, and you will never know if you've been infected until it is far, far too late. Drop down with us into the cold, dark world of the deep ocean. Here lives a creature whose intelligence and appearance seem utterly alien. The giant Pacific octopus. It is the largest known octopus species, with arms spanning up to 20 feet across. Imagine you are a diver, exploring a sunken wreck at night. In the beam of your flashlight, you see a single tentacle slowly emerge from a dark opening, then a second, a third. They are covered in hundreds of suction cups, each moving independently. And then the octopus itself appears. Its enormous gelatinous body shifts colour and texture right before your eyes, perfectly blending into the environment. Two large, intelligent eyes stare directly back. Octopuses are incredibly smart. They can solve complex puzzles, use tools, and even recognize individual humans. But here is the truly unsettling fact. When you look into the eye of a fish, you see pure instinct. When you look into the eye of an octopus, you see thought. While not inherently aggressive toward humans, the giant Pacific octopus is intensely curious. It might decide to explore you with its massive arms, and if a creature this large decides to embrace you, escape is virtually impossible. The sheer power of its grip is immense, and the suction cups will hold you with a death grip. It could accidentally pull off your mask or your air regulator. In the resulting panic, you would quickly start to drown. An encounter with a giant Pacific octopus, deep in its dark domain, is a collision with an alien intelligence whose motives remain entirely unknown to us. It is the chilling realization of absolute helplessness before a creature that truly seems to be a visitor from another world. Dive deeper, to a place where sunlight has never reached, a realm of absolute crushing darkness. Here, in the abyssal zone, resides the embodiment of oceanic nightmares, the anglerfish, often called the sea devil. You'll never see the creature itself. All you'll see is the light, a tiny, wandering beacon dancing in the blackness. That's its lure, known as the esker. It's a specialized filament extending from its head, tipped with bioluminescent bacteria. The glow attracts curious deep-sea organisms, and the moment a potential meal gets close, a massive mouth, lined with long, needle-sharp teeth, all curved inward to ensure there is no escape, erupts from the shadows. The jaws snap shut, and the light vanishes. The anglerfish is the perfect hunter for a world of eternal night. Its body is built to withstand crushing pressure, and its highly elastic stomach allows it to swallow prey far larger than itself. But perhaps the most bizarre feature of this creature is its method of reproduction. The male anglerfish is tiny, sometimes hundreds of times smaller than the female. When the male locates a female, he latches onto her using his teeth. Over time, his body physically fuses with hers. Their circulatory systems merge, and all his organs, except for his testes, atrophy. He essentially becomes a permanent sperm-producing parasite. A single female might carry half a dozen of these males fused to her body. We can never encounter an anglerfish face to face. Human bodies simply cannot survive that immense depth. But the mere concept of a creature that is fundamentally a floating Moor with a lantern, combined with its chilling reproductive method, solidifies the anglerfish as one of the most terrifying inhabitants our planet has ever produced. We are back in the African savannah. It is night. You hear a sound utterly unmistakable. It's not a mournful howl, nor is it an aggressive roar. It is a chilling, hysterical cackle. The sound echoes through the darkness, and it feels as though the devil himself is mocking you. This is the spotted hyena. And if that dreadful laughter is nearby, you're in serious trouble. Hyenas are often dismissed as mere scavengers, but that is a profound misconception. They are, in fact, incredibly efficient and intelligent predators, hunting in complex social groups known as clans. They become especially active under the cover of darkness. Their front legs are longer than their hind legs, giving them that characteristic, seemingly awkward gait. But appearances are deceiving. They are exceptionally persistent and can pursue prey for many miles without tiring. Hyenas possess some of the most powerful jaws in the mammalian world, built specifically to crush bone. A clan of hyenas can devour an adult antelope in under 30 minutes, often leaving nothing but the horns behind. An encounter with a hyena clan at night is a terrifying ordeal. They will surround you, issuing those haunting vocalizations, testing your reaction by approaching and quickly retreating. Their high intelligence allows them to coordinate their tactics. They will attack from multiple angles, aiming to trip and bite your legs. Their bite inflicts horrific tearing wounds, but the ultimate terror is that laugh. It is designed to wear down your nerves and induce panic. It sounds as if they are actively mocking you, anticipating the feast to come. These are not just wild animals. They are a sophisticated gang of smart, vicious, and ruthless killers, and their laughter might just be the last sound you ever hear. Africa. Night falls over the watering hole. In the darkness, a massive bull-like silhouette appears. But make no mistake, this is no domestic beast. This is the African buffalo, also known as the Cape buffalo. It belongs to the infamous African Big Five, the continent's most dangerous game. And for good reason. The buffalo is often called the Black Death, or the Widowmaker, responsible for more hunter fatalities than any other animal in Africa. Its danger lies in its absolute unpredictability and legendary vindictiveness. A massive herd might graze peacefully, ignoring your presence entirely, but in a split second, one individual might charge without any discernible provocation. Especially dangerous are the solitary, old males, often exiled from the main herd. These dagger boys are notoriously bad-tempered and fiercely aggressive. Weighing nearly a ton, the buffalo's massive, swept-back horns are a lethal weapon. It won't just gore, it will try to toss you, dismember you with its horns, and then systematically trample the remains. But perhaps the most terrifying trait is its sheer vengeance. If you wound a buffalo and it manages to escape, it will not flee. It will circle back, set a calculated ambush, and wait patiently to attack you from behind. It has been known to track its aggressor for hours. Encountering a buffalo at the watering hole at night is a critical danger. Spooking one accidentally means instant attack. All you will see is a massive black blur erupting from the darkness, leaving you no time to react. It is not a predator. It is simply 1 ton of pure, unadulterated rage and brute force. We'll stick close to the water, the rivers and lakes of Africa. By night, the surface looks utterly peaceful, but lurking beneath is one of the most aggressive and territorial creatures on Earth. Meet the hippopotamus, or hippo. Many mistakenly view them as lumbering, harmless giants. That is a fatal error in judgment. The hippo is, in fact, Africa's deadliest large mammal, responsible for more human fatalities than lions, leopards and crocodiles combined. During the heat of the day, they remain mostly submerged, seeking refuge from the sun. But as night falls, they emerge onto the banks to graze, often trekking several miles away from the water. If you inadvertently cross the path between a hippo and the safety of its water, it will charge instantly, no questions asked. Despite weighing several tons, a hippo can sprint up to 30 kilometers per hour on land. Escape is simply impossible. Its primary weapon is a massive jaw that can gape open nearly 150 degrees. Inside that cavity are razor-sharp tusks, sometimes growing up to 1/2 meter long. A single bite is powerful enough to snap a person in half or crush a dugout canoe entirely. They despise crocodiles and often brutally kill them. They attack boats without any direct provocation, purely because they view them as territorial intrusions. At night, whether you are walking the riverbank or paddling a canoe, you may not even see the hippo approaching. You'll simply hear a furious roar, and this ton of muscle and aggression will explode out of the darkness straight at you. Meeting a hippo in its element, especially after dark, is often a guaranteed death sentence. Let's return to the ocean, specifically the coral reefs. Imagine you spot a beautiful, brightly coloured shell on the seabed. The immediate impulse is to pick it up. Don't, especially not at night. That shell could belong to the cone snail, one of the most venomous creatures on the planet. It looks like a harmless mollusk, but hidden inside that exquisite shell is a lethal weapon. The cone snail possesses a specialised organ called the radula, which functions like a tiny, powerful harpoon. When prey or a perceived threat approaches, it fires this harpoon, injecting a complex cocktail of hundreds of different neurotoxins. The venom is instantaneous. It paralyses the victim, usually a small fish, allowing the snail to swallow it whole. For a human, the initial sting may feel painless, like a simple pinprick, but within minutes, numbness and weakness set in, followed by blurred vision and difficulty speaking. Then comes total paralysis, including the respiratory muscles. Death usually occurs from asphyxiation. Crucially, there is no known antivenom for the cone snail's poison. The only viable treatment is supportive care, keeping the victim alive on a ventilator until the neurotoxins have naturally left the system. At night, especially while diving, when visibility is poor and colours are distorted, it's all too easy to mistake this deadly creature for a beautiful souvenir. You pick it up and in self-defence, it delivers its lethal injection. You might not even realise what happened immediately, and by the time the serious symptoms appear, it's often too late. This truly is a silent killer in a beautiful package. Imagine yourself deep in the jungles of Central or South America. It's night and you're struggling through the dense foliage. Suddenly, a blinding, searing pain erupts in your leg, as if a red-hot spike was instantly driven deep into the bone, or worse, you'd been shot. You scream, but the attacker is invisible. What delivered that devastating blow? Most likely, the notorious bullet ant. This large black ant measuring up to 1 inch or 2.5 centimetres long possesses the most agonising sting known in the entire insect world. On the Schmidt Sting Pain Index, it scores a 4+, the highest possible rating. Justin Schmidt, who famously subjected himself to hundreds of different insect stings, described the experience like this: pure, intense, blinding pain. It feels like walking over flaming charcoal with 3-inch rusty nails embedded in your heel. The agony doesn't fade quickly. It throbs and pulsates in relentless waves for a grueling 24 hours. This lingering misery is exactly why the ant earned its other common name, the 24-hour ant. In addition to the extreme pain, the venom induces muscle tremors, severe swelling, fever, and violent nausea. Indigenous tribes in the region utilize these formidable creatures in harrowing rites of passage for young boys. During the ritual, the initiate must place his hands into specially woven mitts, packed full of live bullet ants. The boy must endure this ordeal for 10 agonizing minutes without uttering a sound. Shockingly, the ritual may be repeated up to 20 times throughout his adolescence. Back in the dark forest, if you accidentally stumble upon their nest at the base of a tree, they won't settle for a single sting. The entire colony will launch a coordinated, frenzied assault. Dozens, even hundreds of simultaneous stings will transform your night into one solid, agonizing 24-hour nightmare. While the venom is rarely fatal, the resultant pain is so profound, it will absolutely make you beg for death. The tropical rainforests of South America. Night falls. Under the beam of your flashlight, you spot a bright, almost neon splash of colour on a leaf. Yellow, blue, and red. It's a tiny frog, barely 1 inch long, looking like a living jewel. This is a poison dart frog, and that brilliant colouring isn't just for show. It's a warning signal screaming, "Do not touch me, I am deadly." The skin of these frogs secretes one of the most potent natural toxins known, batrachotoxin. The poison from just one golden poison frog, for instance, is enough to kill 10 grown men. For centuries, indigenous peoples have used this venom to tip their hunting darts and arrows. The toxin attacks the nervous system, blocking nerve impulses. This quickly leads to muscle paralysis, affecting the heart and respiratory function. Death is swift. Importantly, the frogs don't produce the poison themselves. They acquire it from the insects they eat, specific species of ants and mites. When kept in captivity on a different diet, they become completely harmless. But in the wild, an encounter can be fatal. Walking through the forest at night, you might accidentally grab a branch where this tiny creature is perched, or it might simply jump onto your hand. Simple contact is enough for poisoning, especially if you have a scratch or cut on your skin. You might not even notice the moment of contact. Then you'll feel the numbness, and that's the end of it. It is a silent, beautiful, and utterly lethal creation. Coastal waters of Australia. It's night, and you decide to take a walk along the shallows during low tide. You are navigating the wet sand, moving among the rocks and seaweed. Suddenly, you step on what feels like a rock, and instantly, an agonizing, excruciating pain shoots up your leg. You have just stepped on a stonefish. It is the most venomous fish in the world, and an unrivaled master of camouflage. Its body is covered in knobbly protrusions and ridges, making it virtually impossible to tell apart from an algae-covered stone. It lies perfectly still on the seabed, waiting for unsuspecting prey. Along its back are 13 sharp dorsal spines, each connected to a powerful venom gland. When you step down, these spines drive deep into your foot like hypodermic needles, instantly injecting a potent, rapid-acting neurotoxin. The pain is legendary. It is so intense that victims often lose consciousness, become delirious, and have been known to beg doctors to amputate the affected limb. Without immediate medical intervention, the severe pain can persist for several days. The venom itself causes paralysis, tissue necrosis, and if a spine hits a major blood vessel, death can occur within a few hours due to heart or respiratory failure. The risk of encountering a stonefish is highest at night, when you can't clearly see the bottom. You are simply minding your own business, and one misplaced step turns a casual stroll into an instant ordeal. This creature is essentially a living biological landmine, perfectly engineered by nature and strategically laid out across the ocean floor. Africa and Asia, it's night, and you're sitting by a campfire. Suddenly, from the tree above you, comes a low, guttural sound, a growl like the rasping of a saw. You look up and spot 2 glowing green eyes staring out of the darkness. That's a leopard, one of nature's most successful and lethal predators. The leopard is a true master of stealth. Its spotted coat provides perfect camouflage, allowing it to approach prey with absolute silence. It possesses unbelievable strength. It can haul the carcass of an antelope, weighing more than twice its own body weight, high up into a tree. Unlike lions, leopards are solitary hunters, and they see humans as perfectly viable prey, especially after dark. In parts of India, man-eating leopards pose a critical danger. They slip into villages under the cover of darkness and snatch sleeping residents right out of their homes. The leopard's attack is always sudden, aimed straight for the neck or throat. It springs onto its victim from above or behind, and the whole encounter is over in a fraction of a second. You wouldn't even register what hit you. Encountering a leopard in the dark means meeting the perfect predator. It sees you, it hears you, it smells you, but you remain completely unaware of its presence until its claws and teeth sink into your flesh. It is the ghost of the night, silent and utterly lethal. Across the Americas, from Canada down to the Andes, it's rugged mountain country. It's night. You're walking along a narrow, winding trail. You get that strange, unsettling feeling. The hairs on the back of your neck stand up. You feel watched. You spin around, but there's nothing there. But it is, here. It's the mountain lion, also known as the cougar or the puma. After the jaguar, it is the largest cat in all the Americas, and it is the ultimate master of the ambush. This solitary predator prefers to strike from deep cover, stalking its prey for hours, sometimes without ever being detected. Its camouflage is perfect, blending seamlessly with the rock faces and dry brush. It moves with absolute chilling silence. Attacks on humans are rare, yes, but they do happen, and almost without fail they occur during twilight or under the cover of darkness. The cougar attacks from behind, leaping onto the back and delivering a lethal bite to the base of the skull or the neck, instantly severing the spinal cord. Death is instantaneous. The victim never sees its killer. 1 second you are walking, and the next second, it's over. This sudden, absolute stealth is precisely what makes the cougar so terrifying. You could walk mere feet away from one and never know it was there. But if it has decided you are its prey, your chances of survival are slim to none. That feeling, being alone in the mountains at night, knowing that this silent predator could be just yards away, tracking your every move. That is true, primal fear. The tropics, anywhere in the world. It's night. You're lying in your tent, or maybe a hammock. You hear a quick, distinctive scratching sound. Something impossibly fast is moving across the ground, up the wall and across the ceiling of your tent. You grab your flashlight, switch it on, and you see a creature right out of a nightmare. A long, segmented body, and dozens, if not hundreds, of legs moving with impossible speed. This is a giant centipede, or scolopendra. Some species, like the Amazonian giant centipede, can grow to be 30 centimeters long, a full foot of sheer terror. They are active, aggressive, and highly venomous predators. They hunt lizards, frogs, mice, and even bats, catching them mid-air while hanging from the ceiling of a cave, using only their rear legs. Their weapon isn't a traditional bite. It's a pair of modified front legs that look like curved pincers, called forcipules. They stab these into their prey and inject a potent venom. For humans, the resulting sting is excruciatingly painful. The pain can last for days, accompanied by severe swelling, fever, and sometimes tissue necrosis. For children or people with compromised health, a sting from a large centipede can potentially be fatal. They are highly active at night, and they frequently crawl into tents, into boots, or into sleeping bags, looking for warmth and shelter. Now imagine waking up to find this foot-long, multi-legged nightmare crawling across your face. Any sudden movement will trigger the defensive sting. It's not just scary, it's truly repulsive. It is the embodiment of everything we instinctively dislike about creepy crawlies, magnified to a giant scale. The ocean depths, home to creatures few humans ever see, but whose appearance, once witnessed, remains seared into memory. One such animal is the goblin shark, Mitsukurina austoni. It is a living fossil belonging to a lineage that stretches back 195 million years. Its appearance is truly terrifying. It has a long, sword-like projection on its nose, tiny eyes, and flabby, pinkish skin, through which its blood vessels are clearly visible. But its most unsettling feature is its jaws. Unlike other sharks, they are not rigidly fixed. They can extend far forward, almost the entire length of its snout. When the goblin shark closes in on its prey, it violently thrusts its jaws forward. Like a creature out of the film Alien, its mouth snatches the victim, revealing rows of long, needle-like teeth. This spectacle is simultaneously mesmerizing and repulsive. It poses no danger to humans as it lives at extreme depths. But picture this. You are inside a deep-sea submersible. In the blackness outside the viewport, you see this ghostly pink silhouette. It slowly approaches, and then its face transforms. An ugly, tooth-filled maw shoots forward. This creature defies every preconceived notion we have about what a living thing should look like. It is proof that the abyssal depths hide nightmares that our terrestrial imagination is simply incapable of creating. Imagine the Ethiopian highlands. It's night, and you're sitting in your camp. Suddenly, strange clicking and murmuring sounds break the silence. You look up and see a huge dark mass moving across the ground. This is a troop of galladers, unique primates sometimes called the bleeding heart monkeys, because of the bright red patch on their chests. They look interesting enough during the day, but at night, when you suddenly encounter what feels like an army of these creatures, the experience becomes genuinely unsettling. The males are massive, covered in a dense lion-like mane, but the most terrifying feature they possess are their teeth. Their canines are actually longer than a lion's, and they're not shy about showing them off. When a gallada feels threatened, it pulls back its upper lip, exposing not just its immense fangs, but also bright red gums. This is known as the lip flip, and it's easily one of the most chilling grimaces in the entire animal kingdom. They live in enormous supergroups that can number up to 1,000 individuals. If this huge herd moves through your campsite in the dead of night, you are guaranteed to feel small and incredibly vulnerable. They aren't predators. They are grazers feeding primarily on grass. However, they are immensely powerful and can become fiercely aggressive when defending their territory or family unit. Seeing hundreds of eyes reflected in the darkness, hearing their strange vocalizations, and witnessing a snarl featuring fangs like a saber-toothed cat. That is an experience you will not soon forget. And rounding out our list is the quintessential nightmare creature. Picture the scene: northern forests, a dead winter night, a full moon casting an eerie glow over a blanket of snow. Suddenly, the deep silence is shattered by a long, mournful, drawn-out howl. Then a second answers, then a third. It's wolves, the most intelligent, effective and coordinated social predators on the planet. Encountering a lone wolf at night might seem manageable, but here is the critical truth. You never meet just one wolf. If you spot a single animal, it guarantees that 10 others are already watching you from the shadows. They are masters of coordinated hunting. The entire pack operates as a single, unified organism. Their communication system is sophisticated, allowing them to chase down and kill prey much larger and stronger than they are, things like a moose or a bison. In the dark, their senses are amplified to an extreme degree. They see in the gloom 6 times better than any human. Their hearing and sense of smell are nothing short of phenomenal. They will be acutely aware of your presence long before you ever register theirs. They won't attack right away. They will shadow you, studying your movements, appearing and vanishing within the blackness. This is pure psychological warfare. They will probe you, testing for any sign of weakness or vulnerability, and if they decide the time is right, their assault will be swift, coordinated and utterly lethal. Some will draw your attention from the front, while others strike simultaneously from the rear and flanks, targeting your legs to bring you down immediately. The terror of encountering a wolf pack in the dark isn't merely a physical threat. It's the chilling realization that you are facing a highly evolved collective intelligence, one that views you as nothing more than meat. And that haunting howl, echoing across the nocturnal forest, will forever be etched into your memory, serving as the terrifying soundtrack to your deepest, darkest nightmare. Well, that brings our chilling journey through the nocturnal world to a close. From the abyssal depths of the ocean, lit only by the lures of the anglerfish, to the dense jungles where leopards silently stalk, and even the murky swamps where shoebill storks stand motionless, darkness is truly teeming with life. But as we've learned today, not all of that life is friendly to us. We've seen that danger often hides in the most unexpected forms. Who would have thought that a tiny, beautiful snail could be deadlier than a shark? Or that a seemingly clumsy bird like the cassowary could deliver a fatal strike with its dagger-like claw? Or that an ordinary ant could subject you to 24 hours of pure, unadulterated pain? This world existed long before us, and it will continue long after we are gone. And the night is when nature reminds us of our true place within it. Thank you so much for watching all the way through. I hope you found this as terrifying and fascinating to watch as we did to create. If you did, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more amazing and terrifying tales from the wild world. Now, for the ultimate question. After everything you've seen and heard today, which of these 30 creatures would you least want to meet down a dark alley or on a secluded forest trail? Drop your answer in the comments below. Let's find out who you think is the scariest monster of the night.